Practicing medicine without insurance is possible. Imagine a private practice where you get to see your best patients every day, providing medical services you truly enjoy, all without the hassle of insurance. My name is Dr. T. Nguyen, and I'm a recovering specialist who was completely burned out from insurance-based medicine. I pivoted into direct care, where patients pay me directly for my medical services and have never looked back. If you're a private practice owner or planning to become one who's looking to be free of the grind of insurance and you're craving simplicity, efficiency, and connection with patients, you are in the right place. This podcast will help you map out your exit plan and uncover the mindset needed to thrive in today's economy. Welcome to the Direct Care Podcast for Specialists. Here are some misconceptions about niching down in your medical practice. This conversation is a little bit easier for specialists because we're specialists. We already decided our area of expertise. But if you're going to have a private practice without insurance, where you're asking people to pay you more money than what they are paying for their insurance premiums, we are really held to a different standard, a higher standard that can scare some doctors. We don't have a wall to hide behind. We don't have a mass of people to hide behind, right? It's literally just us and the patient. And don't let that scare you. So this is why niching down in your specialty is going to be so much more impactful in the success of your business. When you're able to get clear about who you serve and what you do, you can generate more money with more joy. The opposite of that is not being clear about who you can take care of. Anybody with a pulse with insurance just shows up with whatever pathology they have, and you just do the work as best as you can. Maybe you enjoy it, maybe you don't. But that doesn't put you in a place where you're deeply invested in understanding the minutia that comes with being a super specialist. And without that level of expertise, it makes it kind of hard to charge more money because the demand is less. If I, as a podiatrist, compete with others who look similar to what I do, like an orthopedic surgeon, a physical therapist, a chiropractor, even a general practitioner, an osteopathic doctor, we all kind of do similar things, right? We know that within the medical field, but outside to the consumer, many times they don't know that they need to see a specialist, a podiatrist, right? They think that maybe their problem can be treated at a nail salon, like an ingrown toenail, right? Because the services are similar, but consumers, generally speaking, don't always know what they need. So it's our job as a specialist to educate people by super specializing it. And people will pay for the minutia or the nuances of that area in which they have a problem for. So the more specialized you are, the more money you can make. And there is nothing wrong with that. If it took us this long to know what we know to the caliber that we know it, people are going to want that, and they're going to know that good things cost money. That's just what it is. So the common misconceptions that many doctors have in regards to niching down in their medical practice, especially those who are looking into direct care and they're like, why do I have to specialize even more? Wouldn't that just exclude certain people? And here's the thing. You do want to be exclusive. And does that make some of you feel weird to be exclusive in that way? Well, let's think about it. If you're a privately owned medical practice, do you have an abundance of resources? Do you have an army of people who can sort out the paperwork, who can go through a full day's worth of work seeing 30, 40, 50 patients a day? If you do, you might be in a different bracket of resources. For me, it's just me. I have a team of marketers. I have somebody on the phone. I have somebody in the office, and that's about it. Everything that I do is mostly me at this point in time, which means I have to be very careful with my time. I can't take care of everybody, even though deep down I do want to take care of everybody. But if we all have 24 hours in a day and I have other obligations, such as my daughter's school events, or my husband wants to go on a vacation, right? I have to manage my time a lot more wisely, and this is how you do it. You have to be clear about who you can take care of and who you cannot take care of. So even though I'm a foot and ankle specialist, I cannot do ankle replacements, right? It's ankle pathology. I have the knowledge to understand what I could do for them, but I won't because I'm not an expert in that thing. I haven't done enough of those to even try to do it. And I will absolutely not be doing that anytime in the near future, just to be clear. But it's ankle pain, needing surgery, and a surgical option is either fusing the ankle or doing a replacement. And that's not something that brings me joy. And I have a friend who loves to do that and only wants to do that. And it's in our best interest, me and the patient, that the patient sees the expert who enjoys doing that stuff, and it's not me. Here's the thing, if you're doing something that you're not a super expert at, but there is somebody else who is, you're kind of doing a disservice to yourself, because if you're going to say yes to solving that problem, but you're kind of not loving it, you're distracting yourself from doing the stuff you actually love. And on the flip side, it's a disservice to the patient if you know there is an expert who loves to do that thing and you haven't sent them that way. The patient doesn't have the opportunity to be with the expert, you see? So you don't have to do everything that shows up to your office. You have to be so crystal clear as to who you can help and who you need to refer out. And this was something that I took a long time to understand, because I think a big part of it was ego. You know, in our residency training, in our fellowship training, even in our early years of practice, we don't like being wrong or feeling like we couldn't do something, right? We were always tested, we were always challenged to take on very difficult situations. And it was a good thing to do because you learned how to be resilient, you learned what not to do. But in real life, if you want a practice that provides you with ease and flow and profits, you really need to be more selective about what you do and who you do it for. So a private practice with a limited amount of resources will do so much better if you put all of your energy in focusing on the few things that bring you a lot of joy, because then you become that super expert and people will just naturally gravitate to you. They'll see how much joy you have in solving certain problems, and then you become the person to go to for that thing. So be clear about who you want to take care of, know your boundaries of when you need to refer out or who you can't help. And then when you start doing the work that you deeply enjoy, you become naturally super specialized because you become so much more invested in that work and you become the person who knows all of the minutia that's involved in knowing that very thing. And when you know that level of minutia, people want that specialist and they are willing to pay for that level of care. Some doctors are also saying when you niche down, you limit your patient base and thus you limit your income potential. And the thing is, those two things are mutually exclusive. You can have a smaller patient base and make more money because this is an economics problem. More demand, not enough supply. It's kind of like the housing market we have right now, whether you like it or not. It's a situation that we find ourselves in where the inventory of homes are so limited, the prices are skyrocketing. To some, that's an advantage. To some, that's a disadvantage. The point is in understanding supply and demand. When there is demand, you create demand by super specializing in what you do. When you create that demand, there's really no competition up here. So then you can charge whatever you want to charge. And I'm not here to tell you how to charge. If you want to charge very little, that's your prerogative. If you want to charge a lot because you can and the market meets it, that's cool too. You decide your price point. It doesn't have to be exclusive to wealthy patients only, unless you want to. But you'll see in the podcast where I interview other doctors, most of us are serving our general community. We're not really self-selecting for people who just have money. We are self-selecting for people who have a problem that we enjoy solving and they're willing to find ways to pay for it. That's all that it really is. And with my practice, I get a lot of teachers, farm workers, I get small business owners, I get big business owners, I get a variety of people. And that just comes because direct care is filling a void. They are filling the gap of traditional care. So again, knowing what you do should be the thing that you deeply enjoy, because then you become a super specialist. You just love the work you do. It doesn't feel like work. And to that level of obsession, you can charge a little bit more if you like. Totally up to you. Some people say if you focus on one area only in your specialty practice, it's risky. That's not true at all. The more specialized you are, it really is better for your private practice, because then, people have short attention span. They don't really know all of the medical words. They don't really have the vocabulary to articulate everything, all the things that we do. They only know you as like the foot doctor, right? Or you're the pelvic doctor, or you're the pain specialist, or you specialize in the spine, right? So we want to be able to be very clear about the problem we solve, because that's how the general community is going to refer to you. I had this instance where one of my patients was talking about a physical therapist, and I asked him or her, what do they specialize in? And the answer was, I'm not really sure. They do a little bit of pelvic therapy, they work on my ankle, they also do this and that. And even to the patient, if they can't get clear about what that person does, it makes it really hard to market yourself, because you're suddenly the person who does everything. And when you're the person who does everything, your expertise kind of gets lowered and lowered and lowered, and then people forget what you do. You don't want to be in that situation. You want to be the person who is known for that thing. That's it. This is how you make life easy. You decide, you commit, you put your stake in the ground, and you go full force. And you're like, this is what I want to be known for. That doesn't mean you exclude everything else. It means that your money, where you're going to put out there in ads, in newspaper, in the radio, it's going to be very focused and intentional. And you want to focus on things that is high value, high impact for your practice. You don't want to talk about everything when you're talking about marketing dollars, because then what if you get a bunch of stuff that you didn't really love anyway, and it pays the least? That could be a very exhausting practice. How do I know that? Because I did that. I did that early on. I chose the path of least resistance. I did the thing that nobody else was doing, and now I'm in a position where I can't do that thing anymore because I'm exhausted. It's one of my lowest performing services. It's needed, so I keep doing it, but it is kind of wearing me down. And so flipping that around, focus on the top thing that you enjoy doing, that generates you money, that will buy you your freedom. Getting specific about what you do in your specialty, and then telling everybody that you do that, is so important. Don't be shy. Don't hide. The lesson here is to learn how to market yourself. And if you can't tell me or another person what you do in 30 seconds, that's something that you can start working on. You don't want to spend your 30 seconds listing the services you provide. For example, I can tell you that I take care of people's foot pain by doing shockwave therapy, laser therapy, prescription medications, non-surgical options, sometimes surgery, right? That's not very compelling. But if I say something like, I treat foot pain with non-surgical options, period, it's very clear as to who I really want to attract in my practice. Do other people come this way anyway? All the time. Learn about yourself and what you enjoy, what you don't enjoy, through the process of doing it. Don't sit and read a book about swimming if what you need to do is to actually get in the water and know what it feels like to be in the water, to tread the water, right? Business is the same thing. You're exploring. So the theoretical here is understanding that niching down actually creates more money, and that's how you get to see fewer patients. So what used to pay me, I think it was like $50 for a 30-minute visit with Medicare payment, I now charge $175, and it's gone up to $275. So just that math in itself, I can see a whole lot less, right? One patient today is now equal to about 4 to 6 patients, depending on what's really going on. But nonetheless, I cut down my patient load because I invest in more time in giving higher quality care, raising my prices, super niching down because people know I do this thing here in my community, and then know that I can't do it for everybody. In the beginning of your practice, you're going to have to field a lot of phone calls where you say your price and they shut down and they don't show up and they're like, you're too expensive. And this is the practice of resilience. Those no's will eventually turn into a yes. Don't be discouraged if you get 9 no's, because what you're aiming for is that one yes at your new price point. You are no longer available to work for free. Not until you fill your bucket first, not until you become profitable first. And then you can decide what to do with your own time. So that is Business 101, getting very specific about what you do and who you do it for. This is about super niching down. This is about not being afraid to stay in your area of joy, to zone in to what you really love doing, to have that mental focus that makes your life easier and easier over time, not harder and harder, but paperwork over time, right? Different business models, insurance versus direct care, it's totally different. Once you set up your practice like this, you will realize that it is easier and more joyful to practice medicine when you get that clear about what you do and who you do it for. If you're somebody who's ready to make the move and you need more help, whether you're currently employed or you have an insurance-based practice and you want to start opting out, I put together a course that will walk you through this in detail, that shows you how you need to focus to launch your direct specialty care practice. I've been running this course for the past 3 years, and doctors have told me how easy it was to follow, and it gave them the confidence to start their own direct specialty care practice. While for some others, they found some valuable tips that help them increase their cash flow, even if they haven't chosen to completely opt out. They're currently a hybrid or they want to stay a hybrid. So the concepts are the same. You focus on your niche and then you put a price tag on it, and that's it. The podcast 3-year anniversary is next month, but I wanted to offer this early promo to you as a loyal listener. So you will be getting early access to the course, and that includes all of these core topics I talk about, including how to curate your ideal client, how to stand out by providing a signature package, and everything that I've used and have learned from others. I put it all in one course for you. I know that when you go through this course, you're going to be able to have all that you need to create your dream practice that you are truly proud of. And I know you will find massive value in this course wherever you are in your journey. I hope you leave this episode with clarity on the importance of committing to a niche, because that is exactly how you stand out as a direct care specialty practice. I will catch you next week. Take care. If you enjoyed this episode, please give it a review and share it with a friend so more doctors can learn about direct care. Let's keep the conversation going on LinkedIn so we can help more doctors escape insurance and thrive in private practice. Thanks for listening. I'll talk with you next time. Take care.